Alright, so let's do I'm just going to use this video to kind of explain what happened and the mistakes I made and how I'm going to fix it. So, upon further examination, and I think I pointed this out in the last video, these 2 points are 3 inches narrower on this skid steer mount than this mount. And most of that has to do with how this plate is built. I'm not really sure exactly why Deere did that other than the center plate right here. In fact, I really wish this had a plate, and if the 304 mount was easy enough to install on the 4066, I would put it up there, even though it's 244 pounds or 344 pounds. But anyway, so we have to move forward. I'm still going to put the electric actuator on it. So after I found the problem, I did quite a bit of research over the last couple days, actually last 3-4 days. And I looked at hydraulic cylinders, I looked at other electric actuators, and I settled on an electric actuator for this task. Now, I already have H3 outlets up here, right there. And so my initial thought was, well, you know, I'll just get a hydraulic cylinder, and if I really need, you know, over time I can build an electric diverter on there, put the switch in there, and I can put a hydraulic cylinder right in here. Then I got to thinking, well, there's no way to really protect the hydraulic lines. And then it also, at the same time, it is something that electric actuators open slowly. You have to physically press a button. Meanwhile, a hydraulic cylinder, if I put it on the third remote right there, it's on in the cab. I mean, the thumb button is right there for the third remote. So it's not something that I just didn't want to use hydraulics. It was an option. I actually found a cylinder that would come very close. I'd had to done some modifications to the ends. I'd had to redo some of the way the cross beams, or the cross, I can't even think of the name. Anyway, I looked at a couple different ends, and I would have had to do a little modification. But I found a cylinder with right bore, right stroke. I was having a little trouble. I was a little bit worried about the pressure. This machine, I think, has 2,500 psi, and that cylinder was only rated for 2,000. So that's certainly a concern. And then plus, you know, then the added expense of added space and expense of the electric diverter. So not that anything about this is really cheap. So anyway, what did I do? I actually ended up contacting an electric actuator company, and I got in touch with their customer support, and they are willing to build me a custom. They don't have a stock size. I need a cylinder or an actuator with a 5-inch stroke. It is actually the same company that makes the Deere actuator. So it's going to be this same actuator, but instead of I think this one has a 6-inch stroke, I can't quite remember. Instead of this stroke, whatever it is, it's going to have a 5-inch stroke. Now, the base length of the actuator is 7.87 inches. And then you add the stroke to that. So that means that 7.87 plus 5, so a 5-inch stroke, gets me to 12.87 inches. So we're just going to call it 12 7/8 for good measure. And then another 5 inches from that gets me 17.87 or 17 7/8 inches. So what I ended up doing is this evening I went out and I built a 12.87 pen-to-pen, basically mock-up of the retracted actuator, and then I built a 17.87 inch mock-up of the extended actuator to make sure it fits. Now, the important thing here is the minimal length is what's important. So the 12 point, this is actually 12.5 from center to center. So I'm making a little bit of a compromise to put the 12.87 inch pen to pen actuator in there. So I'm going to fully retract the actuator, but my arms here will not actually be fully retracted, and that's the whole reason that I built these mock-ups, is to make sure that I'm not affecting the pins down here by installing a 12.87 inch wide actuator. And I also went ahead and built the 17.87 inch just to make sure that fully extended it would latch the latches for the skid steer, which it will. I've already tried it out, but I'm going to go ahead and set these up and show you what I'm talking about with measurements and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and actually get the cylinder ordered on Monday. And it should be here in about 20 days. There's a 20-day lead time. And we'll see if it fits. It should be the exact same specifications. These actuators normally come with 1/2 inch pins. This one will come with a 3/8 pin. And they normally come with a different connector. I've ordered it with the same connector. And it is an IP66 or IP66 rating, which basically means it's impervious to dust. It's dust free, and it is waterproof, water jet proof. I think you can't submerge it in water, but it is waterproof with water jets being sprayed at it. So let me get these set up, and I will show you exactly what I did and why I did it, and we'll go from there. Alright, so this is what the actuator will look like in its retracted condition. And so you can see that the geometry of the handles has not changed that much. I do have to squeeze them in just a little bit. But if you look at the latches here, they are just fine. You still have plenty of room. Same thing over on this side. It is down a little bit, but you do have enough room in there. And then the extended length, I wanted to go ahead and do the extended length because what's going to happen is I want to make sure that during the extension I actually have enough length to latch the latches, because these sides are going to have different pressures, so you're not sure which side is going to go down first, and so you want to make sure that you have enough length that once one side clips in, the other side will keep going. So you can't just really say, oh well, I only need 16.5 inches of actuator, of ultimate actuator length, extended actuator length, because in that case maybe this side goes down and this side's completely free still. So you have to make sure that both sides are latched when you put the when the actuator is extended. So I'll go ahead and get the extended actuator in. Not really, if it extends too much, that's not a big deal, because it'll just run up against a stop and it's not going to hurt anything by overextending. So that's not really a big deal there. Alright, so here it is extended. And actually, I did notice that my jig it's about an 1/8 of an inch short, but that's not a big deal. I mean, it's extended, so it would be whatever attachments up here is clipped in. So anyway, there you go. That's where we're headed. Probably won't be any updates on this for probably 25 or 30 days, simply because I got to wait for the parts to come in. I may go ahead and run the wiring harness and everything and get it all set up. And we'll go from there. So, yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to do this, just message me on YouTube, and I'll send you the parts numbers and everything, and everything that I've done so far. If you want to wait till I'm completely done with it, I will be more than happy to help you out. I will try to write down everything that I've done so far. That's where we're at. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody learns from my mistakes. I have had a couple messages wondering if, why I just kind of was like, oh well, I gambled. So now I have this lovely piece right here that I'm not sure what to do with. So anyway, thanks for watching, and updates in a couple weeks.